So what they say my warrant for?
So your warrant is for a failure to appear. Dispatch is gonna call in and make sure it's still valid.
Failure to appear where? I didn't have no court dates.
It's for a DUI out of Pickens County.
Out of Pickens County?
32. Could you go and confirm that warrant?
The only DUI, I had a suspicion of a DUI a long time ago, and it was dismissed, so I don't know what they could be talking about.
T.I. warned his son years ago, not as a headline, as a father who'd seen too much. He said time would be King's teacher, and then, almost on cue, the lessons started landing in public. Loud, messy, and impossible to ignore. A late-night pullout from a gas station. Blue lights.
Hey, I don't want y'all to check the car.
I can't hear you.
I don't want y'all to search the car.
Well, I understand that, but if I smell weed, that's probable cause to search the vehicle.
You're not gonna find nothing. You're gonna find my gun.
The contradiction is wild, right?
A body cam, a legacy family watching their kid run the same maze that destroyed so many others. People called it karma, others called it inevitable. Either way, the spotlight wasn't going anywhere. But listen to this. What looked like a random arrest was really the latest chapter in a story that had been writing itself for years. Here's how it all started to spiral, and why the next move could make or break everything. Some warnings sound like noise. This one ticked like a timer. Back in 2022, T.I. went on camera and told the world he already knew where King's choices would lead if he kept.
What I would appreciate more than anything right now is to be able to make a phone call. So when we get there, it can already be figured out.
To who? Who are you trying to make a phone call to?
I'm trying to make a phone call to my pop.
Pushing the edge. He didn't sugarcoat it. He saw the patterns, and he didn't hide them. Fans clipped that moment and kept it in their back pocket. Every time King trended, the old warning resurfaced like proof, like a receipt stamped with "told you so." When a parent with TE's history says, time will teach him, people pay attention, not because they want the crash, but because they recognize the road. The irony, the more he warned, the more King pushed to prove he wasn't living on his father's shadow or his father's advice. It became a public tug of war between pride and protection. But that wasn't the whole story.
Silver spoon, I ain't never ate with that day a day in my life.
Nigga, you did have a silver spoon.
Look, I used to have to come to my grandma's house because I'm getting in the fight.
You cried like a baby to go to your grandma's house.
Every day.
You used to hold your breath.
Every day.
I don't want to be in these gates. I want to be outside in the neighborhood.
Over there. Y'all ready? Cause he can suck and pacify over there. He was 12 years old. He was suck pacify till he was 12 years old. He couldn't do that in the house.
You cried like a baby. Hold your breath.
Yeah.
They trying to say I was over there trying to suck up.
Don't play with people's kids now. Don't play with King.
Come on, man. Come on, bro.
King said
you talking about
King
TIP, son?
Yes, King.
He said he pulling up on you.
Because life would test that warning in the most public way possible. Then came the night that welded prophecy to reality. A chevron exit and a near miss set everything in motion. October 2024, King, behind the wheel of a BMW, he pulled out and almost clipped a patrol car, according to what spread online. Officers approached, said they smelled weed, and noticed a loaded 9 on his hip. The moment they ran his name, the past rushed in. An open warrant from 2022 tied to traffic charges and a failure to appear. The kind of loose end that sits quiet until it explodes. The body cam that leaked didn't catch a meltdown. It showed King irritated but calm, even respectful from what one officer later said. And that calm didn't stop the cuffs. It didn't stop the headlines either. It just complicated the narrative. Was he a wild kid spiraling out, or a young man caught in a system that doesn't care how famous your dad is? But listen to this. Respect didn't blunt the booking, and the internet didn't care about nuance, and if you rewind the tape, the signs were flashing long before the sirens. The first viral red flag hit a Waffle House counter, 2022. King barking at staff, trying to flex, trying to turn a small misunderstanding into a show of power. The clip made the rounds, and the words people used weren't tough or real. They said entitled, they said performing. Not long after, another moment blew up. A video shoot with Tootie Raw, Boozie's son, where guns took center stage like props that weren't props. Both fathers had to step in, on camera, telling their sons to chill. One wrong move, and it's done. That's not a metaphor in hip-hop culture. That's case law. The lesson was simple. The lesson wasn't learned. The momentum didn't slow. It sped up. It gets worse. The stunts turned into patterns, and once it looks like a pattern, the audience stops giving you grace. Then, a family family moment shattered the calm and made the stakes feel personal. The internet can smell performance from a mile away, and in 2023, it pounced. King went live in a luxury suite at Mercedes-Benz Stadium saying he didn't grow up soft. The optics were brutal. A gladiator speech delivered from designer seats with the king of the South in the frame. When voices rose, T.I. locked his son up in a headlock live. Generational tension spilled into millions of phones. Then came a series of hits the internet wouldn't let go. Tiny admitting King used a pacifier until he was 12, memes, clips of King eating ramen out of foil in a mansion like he was auditioning for Struggle. Booed at a high school performance, a back and forth with Drusky over who made Standing on Business pop, DJ Academics pressing the irony of the charges, and the moment that sank the room on 2 Chainz' podcast when King couldn't spell tomorrow at 20. That wasn't about grammar. It was about the narrative. Not ready, not focused, not serious. Each clip chipped away at credibility. But that's not all. The more he pushed for an image, the more the crowd treated him like an act. And then life dropped something heavier than clout. A baby. A newborn should change the story. In November 2024, King welcomed a son and told the world, King Jr. He dropped Dear Son 2, raw, honest, trying to turn the page. Fatherhood could have been the anchor he needed. Stability, responsibility, a reason to move in silence and stack wins off camera. But online, the body cam kept circulating. The memes kept winning. The algorithm favors chaos over growth, and it served the audience what they clicked last time, a highlight reel of missteps. That's the catch with going viral. You don't control what people remember. King wanted the story to shift to fatherhood and music. The timeline wanted the story it already bought. The reason this stings, audiences love a comeback, but they binge the crash, and that hunger fed the next wave. Rumors that went from messy to scary. This is where the story turns into whispers, and we have to keep it real about what's confirmed and what's not. In 2025, blogs started pushing claims that King had been hit with a 5-year sentence. Reports circulated that he'd been jumped inside a Georgia facility and cameras went dark right when it happened. The story got darker. Whispers that he was rushed to an ICU. Masked men seen lurking near his room. T.I. and Tiny distraught outside. None of that has been verified by official sources. No court docket confirming a 5-year bid. No police report detailing a targeted attack on camera. But the fact people believed it says a lot. In jail politics, your image walks in before you do. If the internet calls you a poser, that's blood in the water. The narrative didn't need proof. It needed a vibe, and the vibe was dangerous. But listen, these are unverified rumors. Use words like blogs claimed and rumors suggest, because that's all they are without receipts. And while the internet cooked its own storyline, family friction became gasoline on the fire. When a brand gets shaky, everyone audits the family. Rumors cropped up that King's girlfriend, Jania Big Nana Epps, was leveraging the baby for money and access. Counter chatter claimed King struck back by threatening to leak a list of T.I.'s alleged affairs, rattling the whole house. Again, speculation, and no confirmed documentation. Then Boozy poured fuel on the narrative, clowning King and taking shots at T.I. with talk of a leaked tape rumor buzzing through timelines. Zero proof. Still went viral. Meanwhile, the old paperwork cloud over T.I. wouldn't die, with critics tossing the RT label and T.I. challenging anyone to produce real documents. That noise inevitably splashes on King. Even the money angle became gossip bait. Blogs said the massive lawsuit win tied to T.I. and Tiny got slashed from a headline number in the tens of millions to something closer to the teens, sparking debates about whether those funds would go to legal defense or if tough love would finally mean letting King sink or swim on his own. Add King's own tone-deaf stunt in 2025, offering Tootie Raw free veneers if he hit the gym, and the timeline didn't see growth, it saw distractions. It gets crazier. Every rumor started functioning like a verdict long before facts showed up, so the question shifted from what happened to what could actually save this. Credibility isn't a chain, it's a choice repeated daily. King sits at a crossroads few get to see up close. He has access, he has a blueprint, he's watched the industry eat people alive, and he's watched the discipline it takes to outlast the noise. The cost of performing struggle is higher than the clout it buys. That's the trap. You can spend everything proving you're not privileged and still lose the only privilege that matters: options. Fatherhood is not a prop. It's a reset button, but only if you press it every day. Court dates handled, cases cleaned up, studio time prioritized, mentors on speed dial, phones off, ego quiet. The strongest move might be the least viral one: staying off live, stacking consistent music, and letting the work talk. There's power in strategic silence. There's money in patience. There's legacy in choosing boring discipline over loud chaos. But here's the catch. Discipline doesn't trend, and noise pays in the short term, which makes his next 5 decisions more valuable than any 5-year rumor the internet invents. And I didn't want to be right. No parent wants their "I told you so" to look like a mugshot. The prophecy wasn't about punishment. It was about prevention. We watched a near collision at a gas station pull old mistakes into the daylight, then watched the timeline serve reruns of everything King ever did wrong. We saw a kid try to broadcast toughness from velvet seats and get dragged for it. We saw the difference between living a life and performing an aesthetic. We saw a young father try to pivot, only to find out that growth doesn't go viral unless it crashes. And we watched rumor after rumor stack up without proof because the image made them feel believable. That's the danger of branding yourself as chaos. The world expects wreckage, but that's not all. The most important part is the part no one can film, what he does when no one's watching. So here's where it lands. King Harris can rewrite this narrative. He can make the prophecy about wisdom instead of doom. He can build a legacy that doesn't need headlines to breathe, or he can keep feeding the algorithm until it eats what's left. Privilege versus credibility, access versus ego, image versus reality. The choice isn't poetic, it's painfully practical. Show up to court, show up for your kid, show up to the studio, turn the volume down on everything else. It's not glamorous, but it's undefeated. It gets real from here, and the next move will tell us everything. If you've been watching this story unfold, drop your take below. Do you think King turns this around, or is the internet right about where this ends? If you found this breakdown worth your time, hit like, share it with someone who's been following the saga, and subscribe for more deep dives where we separate the fact from the whispers.